Okay, so I just got done watching the first episode of The Three Body Problem on Netflix. This is a brand new science fiction show from the guys behind Game of Thrones, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, as well as Alexander Woo, who worked on True Blood. Both great shows. I loved both of those shows. And they have a brand new science fiction show that they've brought to Netflix. Now, I realize this is based on an existing body of work on the 2008 Hugo Award-winning novel The Three-Body Problem by Liu Cixin. I may be butchering that pronunciation. I'm sorry. And I know that there is a Tencent produced version from China that has it's much bigger in scope, has a lot more episodes and everything else. But this is obviously the westernized version, the Netflix version. I'm not here to debate which version is better, which version you should watch. I'm watching this one first. So if you're coming here with the mentality of the Netflix version sucks, I prefer the Tencent version, you're welcome to that. But I don't want to, if you're going to do that in the comments below, just leave your dislike and move on about your day because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. We're here to discuss this show, not the other show. So with that in mind, hopefully you're along for the ride. I don't know anything about this because I haven't read the books, and I've never read the book, and I've never seen the Tencent version. I first became interested in this when the trailer dropped, I think like last year or the teaser, and I was like, I'm gonna watch this because it's got a lot of cast in it from Game of Thrones and some other places that I really love to see. Most recently, Lisa was in The Mandalorian, but we've got a bunch of cast here from Game of Thrones, notably Liam Cunningham and John, whose name is I'm forgetting his name right now. Um, anyway, John Bradley, that's his name. So I'm going to be talking all about the first episode in this particular video. If you don't want things spoiled, the show's been out for a while now. I'm a little bit behind the times because Dragon's Dogma 2 launched happened, so I've been busy playing that. I haven't had a chance to sink my teeth in. This is not a week-to-week show. This one dropped all 8 episodes at once on Netflix, so I'm going to be going through and reviewing episode by episode over the next week or so. I'll try to do one a day if I can. We'll see. I'm get it sandwiched in there, but today's about the first episode. So I went into this blind, having not watched anything, never read the book. So you've been warned. This is all from my first perspective. So let's dive in. It's a little confusing, the first episode, which is good because they're drawing you into this plot. So the big thing is there is something happening globally where all of the particle acceleration programs that all these different various governments have around the world suddenly started producing results that just don't make sense, and and everyone's feeling like physics as they know it is broken. And we're talking current day right now. And so this is this young group of scientists who are basically part of the program, and the person who was in charge of the program, their version of the program in London, they got shut down. She suddenly commits suicide for some reason. Not quite sure what's going on. And behind the scenes, Liam Cunning's character over there is running some sort of a surveillance program on the scientists who are suddenly showing up as suicidal or missing. And they seem to be having some sort of something's happening to scientists around the world related to these particle acceleration programs. They're getting off, they're committing suicide, weird things are happening. In the midst of all of this, there seems to be this strange, weird thing with this helmet that you can put on, which gives you like a virtual reality experience, and it says like level 1. And when I don't know the names of all these characters yet. It's going to drive me nuts. But the Asian actress over here who plays one of the scientists, is it okay to say that? I don't know if it's politically okay to say that. Whatever. She's Mexican. She's Asian. I'm his. Whatever. Who cares? Doesn't matter. She puts it on and has this weird vision, like she's back in some time where there's a pyramid and the sun comes up and it like starts to burn her, and she yanks it off and she's like, "What the hell just happened?" There's also this weird thing where her character is seeing a countdown. And apparently it's the same countdown that's been happening with other scientists because there was a murder victim who had carved all these numbers into the wall or painted all these numbers on the wall in blood. And that's part of what Liam Cunningham's character is investigating. Although he's got, why am I blanking on his name? Benedict Wong is the guy who's actually on the ground doing the research. I don't know why Benedict Wong isn't in the promotional footage shot that I have right here, because he seems to be a pretty big character early on, and he's a pretty decent name actor, so I'm not sure why he's not in the promotional material. Anyway, he's investigating with Liam Cunningham's character, and they're trying to figure out what's going on with these scientists and stuff. She starts to see the same numbers that these other crazy scientists are seeing, counting down, and she ends up meeting. They go to the funeral of their boss, who like yeeted herself into the water at their particle accelerator program. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. This weird woman comes out as she's smoking a cigarette to try to calm her nerves down, and she's like, hey, you know those numbers you're seeing? Yeah, you don't want to let that countdown get to 0. And here's a tip. Go over here, watch the sky at midnight on this night, and you'll see the universe blinking at you. And this is where things get really weird, because they do watch the sky, and the stars start turning on and off. Like literally the stars start to just like someone's flipping a light switch. And Liam Cunningham's character, everybody sees it. It's not just the people who are going crazy and seeing timers. Everyone's seeing it. She brings along her friend, this guy over here, and he sees it, even though he's not seeing the countdown, but he definitely sees everything going on. So there's that weirdness going on. At the same time, there's this weird storyline going on with this Chinese woman who we see as an older woman in the current era, but she was around back in the 1960s, and her dad was accused of being this. He was a scientist, and it was against the Communist Party to teach the theory of relativity and all this other stuff. And so her father gets killed, and then she gets thrown in this workers' camp, and then eventually she gets pulled out of the workers' camp and put into this special government program because they are running tests. And as she comes to discern through the course of the first episode, as they're running tests, she realizes that they're not testing weapons like many people thought. They're testing some sort of a communication channel, and they're using a satellite and beaming it off into space or somewhere. And apparently, they're getting some sort of feedback back. And when she asks what that might be, the resident like soldier in chief is like, it's whatever's out there responding back to us. So there's definitely some sort of a weird extraterrestrial thing communicating back in the 60s, but yet most of the story seems to be taking place in the modern era. So I don't know how all that ties in yet, because again, I went into this blind. I know that the details of the show has tried to write around what's going on, refer to things such as I'm going to read some description here. It says it's a science fiction show that beams us directly into action and mystery with absolutely dynamic TV episode. What happens to humanity when the scientific tools we develop that explain our world and the universe totally crap out? When the models we rely upon to deliver empirical results instead return data that resemble Alice in Wonderland written in chaotic numerical code. What answers there are to these questions reveal a decades-old secret programs, present-day conspiracies, virtual reality landscapes, and theoretical physics. Science acknowledging space for something like God to exist, or at least the space for something our brains can't conceive out of divine context. That's the review I was reading over on Decider.com. So there's some crazy descriptions of the shows out there telling about what it actually is, but I don't really know what any of that means because I'm here new. But I'm along for the ride because I'm intrigued by the first episode, because I need to know, what's the countdown counting towards? Why is the entire sky blinking? What's this communication thing they were working on in the 60s? How does it have anything to do with what's going on today? Why are these scientists committing suicide? What is the obsession with is it God? Is it, what is going on here? I don't know, but I want to know more. So the first episode's under my belt. I'm genuinely intrigued. As far as first episodes go, it's not the first best episode I've ever seen, but it's intriguing enough to make me want to know more. And I'm wondering if this is going to be one of those shows where it's going to take me 3 or 4 episodes to really understand what's going on before we then dive into the final half, because there's only 8 episodes to go. So I'm going to review them all on the channel. If you like that kind of stuff, follow along. Check out the playlist. I do a lot of different shows and TV stuff and video games and everything else. There's a Patreon, a Discord. Keep me on the air full time. Thanks to those of you who can and do. And I'll see everybody in the next one. Stay safe. Happy gaming. Happy watching. This isn't a gaming video. See, that's what happens when I do lots of stuff throughout the day. See you guys.